We're now on Dcad lesson 21H, continuing with structure. And during our last lesson, we developed the trapezoidal loads for the wall loads on this window header on the east side of our ARU. And so what we're going to do during this lesson is we're going to actually calculate the loads for this window header. And for our previous window headers along the north wall line, for those windows, we were using a 4x6. So we're hoping that a 4x6 will work for these other headers also, because it's nice when we can use the same header size everywhere. I'm fairly confident that that will work, simply because we don't have that much roof load. Just 3 feet total of our uniform load, and the trapezoidal loads aren't very much because the wall isn't that heavy and there's just not that much height above the window. So having said all that, we're now going to go into BC Calc, and we're going to call up a roof beam, a new roof beam. And we're just going to click on it here. But I think first I want to go ahead and, I believe I can go ahead and open it up here. And I can do a save as, and I want to save it into this folder, and I'm going to save it as D0604 RB-2 East window header. Save. Okay, it takes it a moment to do all of this. So you can see here at the top it's given it the new name. So essentially what we're dealing with is uniform loads, and I have our calc sheet up here that we used previously. And our calc sheet, basically we've already done the uniform load calculations. We have 90 pounds per linear foot for our live load, and 60 pounds per linear foot for our dead loads, which was all worked out during our last session. And our wall loads are trapezoidals, so there's our basically we begins at 0 and ends at 3.25, so 3'3". And since it's just a wall load, there are no live loads. It's only dead loads, and so those dead loads calculate out to 33.85 at the north end and 42.34 on the south end of that window header. That's pounds per linear foot. So we can go ahead and deal with that loading. The first thing we want to do, though, is deal with the spans, and we only have a single span, and we know that span is 3'3". So we can either type in 3.25, and that'll and then hit tab, and it automatically knows that that's 3'3". And I'm not going to worry about the bearing analysis at this point in time, so I just uncheck that. I'm going and for our supports, essentially we're going to be dealing with we're going to call it columns for both cases, because essentially it's a trimmer. And just leave the material unspecified, and we'll go to 1.5" and 1.5" for both. And we'll just leave it at that. Okay, so for setting, we're going to click on settings now, and we're going to go to 360 for our live load deflection, and I want 360 for cantilevers also. And total deflection, I'm going with 240, L over 240, and for cantilever also. And I want my maximum. We can go in and, by the way, go in and change the inventory, select the manage inventory and all of that, and actually go in here and change settings. So in the meantime, I don't want my maximum deflection to total deflection to be 3/4 of an inch. I want it no more than 1/2 inch, and I don't even really want that. I'm going to leave it at that. And the usage of the roof beam, that's already locked in. So now we can go ahead and dial in our loads. And first we're going to deal with our uniform load, and that's just, we know that it's just a uniform linear load, so I'm clicking on that. And we're going to just call it the roof. I think that's what I have here. Just calling it roof, yeah. And so I'm just going to type in roof. And it starts at 0 and ends at 3 foot 3 inches. And essentially what we have is a snow load at 115% and a dead load at 90%. So the dead load is based on our calc sheet here is 60 pounds. And actually this changes to PLF now because it's pounds per linear foot. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and save that. So our dead load will be 60 pounds per linear foot, and our live load will be 90 pounds per linear foot. Again, that was covered in our previous lesson. So for that dead load now, I'm just going to type in 60. And for that snow load, I'm going to type in 90. And I'm going to click Save. Okay, so now we have a trapezoidal load, and so I'm going to click on Add Trapezoidal Load, and I'm just going to put wall for our description. And it goes the entire length, also starts at 0 and ends at 3 foot 3. So we don't have any live load, it's all just dead load, because it's just a wall. So I'm going to call up here and take a look at these, and actually I think I'll just copy and paste. So our left at the beginning, our dead load is 33.85. We'll see if this is going to work. See, and let's see here. Start value 33. Yeah, no problem. And hit Tab and go to our end value. And I'm going to go over here and click on 42.34. Control C and click here and paste. Okay, now and then I can go ahead and click Save. So now you can see in our BC Calc that we have our roof loads that we've dealt with before, both snow and dead load. And here we have our wall dead load, our trapezoidal load. So now I can go ahead and go to Products, and we're going to want to go down to Douglas fir number 2, and our width is 3.5, and our depth is 5.5, and we're going to click on it to see if this is going to fly. And we're going to go up here and click on Analyze Member, and we'll be over here in a minute, and it looks like we're in really pretty good shape. I mean, those loads aren't even, they're having almost no effect on that header. So bottom line is the 4x6 is going to work for a window header, and in our next lesson we'll deal with the door header, which is going to be a little bit different because the door header, let me click on Dcad here. The door header actually has the roof ridge over the door header, and so what that's going to do is that's going to create 2 trapezoidal loads for us, and we'll deal with that in our next lesson. One for the north portion, and then one for the south portion of the header above the door, and we'll still have the same the same roof, snow load, and dead load. So at 3 foot. So it'll be very similar. The header will be slightly longer because the door's a little bit wider than the actual window is because of the rough opening configuration. So anyway, that's how we deal with it. Pretty quick and simple in BC Calc, and we know that our 4x6 headers are still seeming to work a-okay. So that concludes Dcad lesson 21H.